There is a clock on a wall somewhere in your house. You walk past it every single day. And you never once think about the fact that it is the only thing in your life that never lies to you. Your reflection lies. It shows you the same face you had yesterday, so you assume you have time. Your calendar lies. It shows empty squares and makes you believe those squares are yours to fill whenever you feel ready. But the clock does not care about your excuses. It does not pause while you find motivation. It does not wait for Monday. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud. Most people are not actually living. They are rehearsing. They are rehearsing the life they will supposedly start someday. And someday, as Jim Rohn once warned, is a disease. It will eat your dreams just as surely as the years eat your face. But here's what most people miss. This is not a story about laziness. Most of the people quietly wasting their lives are hard workers. They wake up early. They answer emails. They show up. The tragedy is not that they're doing nothing. It's that they're doing the wrong nothing for decades with great discipline. Let me tell you about a man. Call him David. David was sharp, funny, the kind of guy everyone said was going somewhere. At 25, people predicted big things for him. At 35, he was still predicting big things for himself. At 45, he stopped predicting and started explaining. The market wasn't right. I had bad timing. Nobody gave me a chance. At 55, he stopped talking about the future altogether. He just watched other people's futures happen on a screen and called it entertainment. Nothing dramatic happened to David. No tragedy. No single bad decision you could point to. Just years. Quiet, comfortable, forgettable years. Stacked one on top of another until they became a wall he couldn't climb anymore. And this is where everything changes. Because David's story isn't sad because he failed. Sad because he never truly tried and convinced himself for 30 years that he was trying. Jim Rohn used to say that discipline weighs ounces, but regret weighs tons. Most people choose the ounces. Skip the workout. It's just one day. Scroll a little longer. It's just an hour. Postpone the hard conversation. It's just this week. None of these choices feel heavy in the moment. That's the trap. Self-destruction doesn't arrive with sirens. It arrives disguised as comfort, dressed in your own voice, sounding completely reasonable. The real truth is not what you expect. It's not that you need more motivation. Motivation is a spark. It lasts an evening, maybe a week, and then it's gone, and you're back exactly where you started, scrolling, postponing, explaining. What you need is something far less exciting and far more powerful. Willingness to do something today that your future self will thank you for, even though your current self doesn't feel like it. Think about a farmer for a moment. Not metaphorically. Actually, picture him. He doesn't plant in July and expect a harvest in August. He doesn't stand in the field yelling at the soil because nothing is growing fast enough. He understands a law that most people secretly resent. The law of the harvest doesn't negotiate. You reap what you sow in the season it's meant to grow, not the season you prefer. We live in a culture obsessed with seasons we haven't earned. We want the harvest of our 40s and our 20s. We want six-pack discipline with 2-week effort. We want a thriving business built on a personality that's never once been tested by failure. When it doesn't come, we don't blame the missing seasons. We blame the field. We blame the economy, our parents, our luck, anything except the simple, uncomfortable fact. We never planted. Here's something that should disturb you a little, and I say that with respect, because discomfort is sometimes the only door to honesty. If you died exactly as you are right now, same habits, same routines, same excuses, would the eulogy describe a life or a long warm-up that never started the race? Sit with that. Don't rush past it. What happens next is even more important. Because awareness without action is just a more sophisticated form of sleep. Knowing the truth and doing nothing with it is actually worse than not knowing at all. Because ignorance has an excuse. Awareness doesn't. So let's talk about what separates the Davids of the world from the few who turn it around. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's not even intelligence. Some of the most successful on paper people are quietly miserable, having climbed a ladder leaned against the wrong wall. What separates them is a relationship with time. The ones who change their lives stop treating time as infinite and start treating it as a resource more precious than money, because money can be earned again. Time cannot. You can go bankrupt and rebuild a fortune. You cannot go bankrupt on years and rebuild your 20s. This is where self-respect enters the picture, and not the version of self-respect they sell you in slogans. Real self-respect is brutal honesty with yourself in private. Just looking at your own habits the way a stranger would, without the softening excuses you've rehearsed for years, and asking, will I be proud to watch a documentary of my last 90 days? For most people, that question is unbearable. And that unbearable feeling, that's not your enemy. That's the most useful emotion you'll feel all year if you let it push you instead of bury you. Jim Rohn put it simply, discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. But I'd add something to that, something modern life desperately needs to hear. Discipline is also the bridge between the person you pretend to be on social media and the person you actually are at 11p. When no one's watching, nobody is coming to rescue your future. Not a mentor, not an algorithm, not a sudden burst of inspiration after watching one more video. The rescue, if it ever comes, will look suspiciously like you. Tired, unmotivated, doing the small, unglamorous thing anyway today. And then again tomorrow, until the doing becomes who you are instead of something you occasionally attempt. And this is the perspective shift that changes everything. You don't find discipline waiting for you to feel ready. You build it, the same way you build muscle. Through resistance, through reps that feel pointless in isolation but compound into transformation over time you can't see while you're inside it. So here is what I want you to do. Not someday, not Monday. Tonight, pick one thing, one single discipline you've been postponing, and do it before you sleep. Not the whole plan, not the perfect version, just the next honest action. Because the wall David built wasn't built from one decision. It was built one postponed evening at a time, which means the bridge out is built the exact same way, one honest evening at a time. The clock on your wall is still moving. It was moving while you watched this. It will keep moving whether you change or not. That part isn't up to you. What's up to you is simple, and it's the only thing that has ever truly been up to you. What you do in the next 60 seconds after this video ends. Most people will close this, feel inspired for an hour, and return to exactly who they were yesterday. You, maybe just you, will close this and quietly become someone their future self doesn't have to forgive. That's the whole difference. Not talent, not luck, just that. Before it's too late.